Hello everyone and welcome to the video, and today we're going to be talking about how to find your main in Apex Legends. So I put together a little chart that's going to help you guys find a main, and I'm just going to talk about the legend in general and tell you if that legend is going to fit you, and just based off of your playstyle you'll be able to find a main from this video alone. But before we get into the video, I would like to ask you guys to please not only drop a sub here, but to follow me on Twitch. I would really appreciate it, and I stream pretty regularly as well. So let's get right into the video. So the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that I separated it into 4 different categories, the first one being offensive, then we have defensive, and then we have recon, and last but not least we have support. So the first one I want to talk about is offensive, just because I feel like more legends fall in this category, and we separated this into 3 different branches. As you can tell, we have movement based, ability based, and ordinance. So the first one I'm going to talk about is movement based. So in the movement based category we have Octane and Pathfinder, and these are both really hyper aggressive legends that are based around movement and just being very quick and able to move around the map very quickly. Pathfinder has his grapple, so he can grapple right into a team and play super aggressive or take high ground, and then he has his zipline as well that can transport the team. It's really good for rotations. So if you're all about movement but more burst movement, I'd say Pathfinder is definitely going to be the legend for you. And Octane is very similar to Pathfinder, but he's a little bit more consistent movement. He has a stim that allows him to run faster, so overall he can kind of just run around the map very quickly, as well as his jump pad to jump pad on teams and land on them and make really aggressive plays. Paired with other legends, he can be amazing when playing very aggressive, and you could also do it safe when paired with certain legends as well. So overall, Octane and Pathfinder both very aggressive legends, but a little bit different just in the fact that Pathfinder is more burst movement. He can move very quickly, but then it's on a cooldown, and Octane's very consistent and he doesn't really have much cooldown. So the next category we have ability based, and in ability based we have Wraith, Horizon, Valkyrie, and Mirage. So first up we have Wraith. Wraith uses her abilities called the Phase, and she is able to go into the void, pretty much go completely invincible and get out. She can use this to be very aggressive and then just use her Phase and get out if she gets low. So she's very good at pushing, as well as she can use her portal for aggressive flank plays. She can get behind people and then phase back. So if you're all about kind of flank plays and getting in and still having a get out of jail free card, Wraith is going to be an amazing legend for you. And next up we have Horizon. Horizon is really fun to play. She has a lot of verticality in her kit, so she's able to take high ground really well. So Horizon is amazing, probably the best legend in the game for taking high ground off of teams. You can pretty much L1 and lift your entire team up and push the high ground for free. As well as Horizon is really good for just pushing teams in general, even if they're not on high ground, because she can lift up and get a whole view of the area. And on the way up on her lift, she's able to fry people pretty easily. So if you can get good at using her lift, you're going to see a lot of success. As well as even if you get fried on the way up, you can hit a battery on the way down and it'll be off by the time you get to the ground. So it's very effective. Horizon is an amazing legend, especially if you like playing aggressive but still safe at the same time. And taking high ground, Horizon is going to be the legend for you. So next up we have Valkyrie. Valkyrie is my personal main and probably the favorite legend in the game for me. I feel like Valkyrie has one of the most aggressive kits in terms of 1v3s. She's one of the best legends for 1v3ing, just because if you're playing in a building and if you're playing with Valkyrie to her strengths, you're going to see a lot of success just because she can take different levels of the floors. A lot of times if I get injured, I will go up to the next floor, hit a battery, and then drop down. And the fact that they can't follow me is really effective for Valkyrie. So if you want to play that kind of like jetpack all over the place, really hard to kill, and really just annoying, Valkyrie is like a mosquito and she flies all over the place, and she could be very irritating to fight against since she can get away so easily. So if you're into getting away, as well as fast rotations, because she has one of the best rotations in the entire game, if not definitely the best rotation in the entire game, because her ultimate can fly your entire team to the other side of the map very easily, and it's very effective for rotations in general, as well as she can stun people, so it just adds a little bit more to her kit. She's an amazing legend, and the fact that she can scan as well in her ult, she's very well rounded and one of the best legends in my opinion in the game. So next up we have Mirage. Mirage is a very fun legend, and he revolves around decoys and tricking people. So if you're into messing with people with decoys or confusing the enemy, Mirage is going to be the legend for you. He's really fun to play, so if your main goal in the game is to just have fun and confuse people and trick people and make really flashy fun plays, Mirage is definitely going to be the legend for you. He's not the best legend in the game, but overall he's so much fun to play, and in pubs he's going to be really good just because I feel like a lot of people will fall for the ultimate and the decoys in general. So Mirage overall is really fun to play. And next up we have the Ordinance category, and in the Ordinance category I have Bangalore, Fuse, and Revenant. So Bangalore obviously is all about smokes and airstrikes, Bangalore is really good for safe rotations. You can use your smoke launcher to smoke off a res or smoke the enemy if they're shooting at you to rotate. So Bangalore is like a safety blanket, really good at protecting your team, but you can also play aggressive in the smokes. If you have a digital threat, you can use Bangalore very effectively. So Bangalore is a little bit stealthy in that aspect because a good Bangalore will run around in her smokes and really confuse people while frying them with a digital threat because she could see through it the whole time. So when you use Bangalore correctly, she's really fun. If you're an aggressive type of player that also likes to play a little bit defensively or has that defensive option or just a lot of utility in general, you're going to see a lot of success with Bangalore just because her airstrike can also zone people off really well or stop third parties, and her smokes are incredibly useful as well for a team. So next up we have Fuse. Fuse is a legend that revolves around a lot of Ordinance. He stacks grenades really well. He also has 2 knuckle clusters and he can throw grenades farther, and his ultimate is a giant ring of fire. So if you're all about explosives, Fuse is going to be your man. Overall, he's a really fun legend to play, especially if you're going up against campers. If you hate campers, you're going to love to play Fuse because he can literally put a ring of fire around an entire building, lock down all the exit ways, and then just nade spam everybody inside through the windows and blow up everyone in the house. So he's really fun to play in that aspect. So if you're all about explosives and blowing people up, Fuse is definitely the legend for you, and you will have a lot of fun with Fuse. So next up we have the defensive category, and I separated these into 2 different categories, which are bunker and defensive support. So first we're going to talk about bunker. In bunker we have Caustic and Rampart. So basically what I mean by bunker is these 2 legends are able to pretty much fortify a building completely to a point where nobody can get in and create a little bunker. They're able to do it better than every other legend in the game. Caustic specifically is all about using his gas traps to kill enemies if they try to push in, whereas Rampart is a little bit different. She puts up cover to block doors, and she is able to fry people that get close. So Caustic kind of just completely locks down a building so the entire building's fortified, whereas Rampart keeps them away a little bit. So if you're more into just fortifying one little spot, but also playing aggressive, because Caustic has an ultimate where if things go bad, you can throw the ultimate down and pretty much kill people, as well as late game on the last squad, you just throw your Caustic ult on them, and you can do so much damage with it. Caustic is an amazing legend for people that want to play very, very defensively, but also have that aggressive aspect as well with his ultimate and the ability to play a little bit more aggro if he needs to. But overall, Caustic is definitely one of the best defensive legends in the entire game. And next up we have Rampart. Like I said before, she's all about keeping enemies away, so you trap up buildings with her walls, and you're able to shoot through amped cover with amplified damage, so she's able to fry people if they try to get close, as well as she has a ultimate that allows her to also play aggressive. She has a minigun that she could walk around with and fry people. It does so much damage. So they both kind of have this aggressive playstyle if you need to with their ultimates, but overall they're incredibly bunker centered and they're able to lock down buildings like no one else. So if you like just locking down one area, these 2 legends are going to be great for you. And next up we have defensive support, and in defensive support we put Watson and Gibraltar. Watson's really good at locking down areas, but not as good as the other Caustic and Rampart. That's why I couldn't put her in bunker, just because her fences are kind of lackluster. But overall, she's able to put down her ult, and if she stacks up ultimate accelerants, she can heal everyone's shield passively. So she's really good at supporting because she can prevent you guys from having to use a lot of shield cells and just help you guys out in that aspect. An entire team, she can help them with their shields, and she can completely stop all ordnance from coming through the windows, or if you're locking down an area in general, they can't be airstriked. She's really good at support in the defensive role. And next up we have Gibraltar. Gibraltar is like a brick wall. He's really good at stopping, pausing, and resetting after third parties. So if you're really into playing defensively but not just sitting in a building, Gibraltar is going to be an amazing legend for you because he's able to bubble, and immediately if he ults on top of himself, he can get off reses in the middle of a field. He can stop third parties. He's really, really great at being one of the best defensive legends in the game, while also being someone that could play a little bit more of an aggressive play style. So next up we have the Recon category, and I separated this into 2 different categories where it is aggressive recon and drone surveillance. So the first one I want to talk about is aggressive recon, and in this category we have Bloodhound. Bloodhound is an amazing legend for playing aggressive off of scans, but Bloodhound can also be a very defensive legend as well. They're one of the best legends in the game for just all-around utility for a team. So if you like just giving your team a lot of knowledge about where the enemies are, you're going to love to play Bloodhound, just because they're one of the best legends at, you know, scanning people and finding out where everyone is and making decisions based off of that. So if you want to see where people are at all times, you want to scan through walls and know where everyone is and help your team in that aspect, you're going to really love Bloodhound. And next up we have Seer. Seer is very similar to Bloodhound, but a little bit different. Seer does not get as many scans as Bloodhound. Bloodhound can obviously scan a lot more frequently, especially in their ult. Seer has the ability to cancel people's heals. So if you want to play an aggressive Recon character, you can play as Seer. You can throw down your ultimate and see everybody in the area, as well as use your tactical to stun them right off of heals and then push really aggressively. Seer is an amazing legend for shutting down teams and pushing them and closing the distance, while also giving your team the information they need to push and coordinate perfectly. So if you're all about aggressive pushing and recon, Seer is going to be an amazing legend for you as well. And then next up we have drone surveillance, and the only person in this category we have is Crypto. So Crypto obviously uses his drone to pick up banners, revive teammates, get information, scan enemies, and EMP, so you can coordinate a solid push. His kit is all about his drone, and that's why he's in the surveillance category. So if you like kind of being a hands-off kind of guy where you are a little bit farther from the action but scanning with your drone and doing things with your drone, you're going to have a lot of fun with Crypto, and you're really going to enjoy playing him. He's really fun to play, especially when you can coordinate EMP pushes. And overall, if you're more of like a Recon kind of guy but don't want to get all up in there, Crypto is going to be the best bet for you. And last but not least, we have the support category, and I separated these into two different categories, which are healer and loot support. And in healer, obviously, we have Lifeline. So Lifeline is an amazing legend for healing up teammates. She has her Doc drone, which is able to heal you from if you're 1 HP all the way up, and as well as she has her care package, which brings down some solid loot. Not as good as Loba for looting, but overall, she can heal teammates really, really well. Her ability to res teammates while also pushing is also really, really effective mid-fight. It's very difficult to fight against a good Lifeline, especially when they are just resing with gold bag. She's very effective at mid-fight medic, and if you're all about being a medic and healing your teammates and keeping everyone alive, you're going to have a lot of fun with Lifeline, and you're really going to enjoy her. And last but not least, in the loot support category, we have Loba. Loba is a support legend because her ultimate is able to loot infinite amounts of ammo as well as everything in the surrounding area. You are able to loot anything. You can only take 2 items, but she's really, really good because she gets her ultimate all the time. So if you're all about getting looted up, and if you always want to have the best loot, if you feel like you can never find good loot, you should just play Loba. She's really good at not only getting loot for yourself, but looting up your entire team and helping you guys a lot in the late game, because you're going to have much better loot than you normally would without a Loba. She also has decent getaway abilities with her bracelet, and it gives you the ability to kind of get away or push aggressively, so she's really, really effective in that aspect too. So if you're all about looting and you want a little bit more utility, she has her bracelet, so it's really, really effective. So that's pretty much it. I really hope this helps you guys find a main if you are struggling a little bit. I hope I helped you understand which legends, and if you know your playstyle, you're going to be able to pick a legend just based off of this. So that's pretty much it for today's video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.